This is The Clash, where the real world clashes with a true Christian worldview. Join former professional wrestler Chris Whaley, known as the Masked Saint, who is an author, pastor, and teacher that brings his wrestling skills into the squared circle and tackles real-life issues. Along with Jeff Dixon, best-selling author, internationally known teacher, leader, and pastor who is not afraid to tackle the tough issues of the world we live in. Together they form a tag team of wisdom in The Clash.
Hi, welcome to The Clash, where we take a Christian worldview and allow it to clash into the culture around us. If we do it right and we're successful over the next couple minutes, you'll be challenged, stretched, and maybe hear something that will inspire you in your journey of faith. I'm Jeff Dixon. I'm glad that you're with us. I'm joined once again, as always, by the saint himself, Chris Whaley. Chris, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Jeff. We got another good show today.
We do, and we have a guest that you need to introduce us to.
Yep, and you got to hear some of it last week, but you get to hear the rest of it this week. We're going to have my friend Richie Scruggs. Richie Scruggs is the head of Wrestling for Christ. I got out of wrestling in 1988, and I think Richie got into wrestling not too long after that. He's wrestled some of the biggest names in the business. Did not know him. Actually met him on a cruise, and he came over to me and introduced himself, and we sat down with our wives and talked for an hour, and it's like we've been friends all of our life now. And he does a great mission work in the Philippines. We heard about some of it last week, but we're going to hear the rest of it this week, and you're going to enjoy that right now.
Hey, Chris, I was just doing my laundry, and look what I found.
Oh, my goodness, look at that. The Clash.
The Clash t-shirt.
I love that.
You know what makes it so special?
Why?
Well, because this is the Clash TV show. This is our logo. This came out of my laundry bucket. That means that these t-shirts are available for everybody to buy. And that means that when you need to do some shopping, that special gift, think about it.
Yep.
You've been invited to a wedding. You buy a wedding present for the bride and groom.
Wow.
Matching Clash t-shirts.
How awesome
Every
would that
home
be?
needs that. You know, when they have a baby, what do you want to get the baby?
A onesie.
A onesie, a Clash onesie. You can get that as well.
Right.
If you're looking for that extra special gift for a loved one,
Right.
you can go to the Clash store and get a Clash journal. You can get Clash magnets. You can get Clash widgets and gadgets and keychains. All of that is available. All you have to do is visit the Clash store.
We live in a great day, Jeff.
We do. And perhaps the greatest store out there is the Clash store. So follow the QR code at the bottom of the screen. You can go to the Clash store and get stuff your very own. It'll make us happy. It'll make the show even better. And you can put on your Clash gear while you watch every single episode of the Clash.
Absolutely.
Now, when you were there, were you able to film any of the matches and what was going on? Okay.
Yes, sir. We had some of the local pastors, local youth pastors, some of the school members, school teachers that were there. We were able to hand them our phones and get them to do some live shots, live video feeds. But we do have, and I think Jody may have a lot of that now that he's putting together a little reel. But we've got the feeding ministry. I've got video floods. We've got all the crusades. We've got the back to school book bag, school material drive that we did. And guys, it's funny. And I tell people this too. I asked the local pastor, I said, are we going to be able to feed the children this year? Are we going to be able to feed the kids at Vacation Bible School? And they'll come up to me and kind of pull me aside and they'll say, Brother Richie, I don't think we're going to be able to do that this year. And I'm like, why? And they're like, well, we've got probably 400 children. And it's going to cost too much to feed them. And then I'll say, well, what's it going to cost? Wrestling for Christ wants to assist in that. What's it going to cost? Brother, it's going to cost way too much. It's going to cost $100 to feed those 400 children.
$100.
Wow.
And to them, and I know to us it's funny, but to them, a lot of people, that's what they live off of a month. They live off $100 US a month, and they survive off that.
Oh,
but when he said that, same thing with the school books, the school supplies. I said, brother, what's it going to cost for us to make sure all these children here at Vacation Bible School get book bags and get school supplies, pencils, papers for back to school? And it's going to cost way too much, Brother Rich. That's going to cost about $50, and we just don't have it. So I'm not saying that I'm not taking credit for any of that, because everything that we do, it's all through God. God makes all that available. But just stuff like that. It's amazing how we're so spoiled. When our shoes get dirty, we want to get rid of them. And my kids used to be that way. Or we get a dirty spot on our pants or our shirt, we want to discard it. You got kids over there, Willem, wearing pillowcases for dresses. Some of those young ladies over there wear pillowcase dresses, is what they call them, and just as happy as can be. And you think they bought that outfit at Gucci, and somebody just made it, cut the sides out and cut a neck in it, and they're wearing a pillowcase for a dress, and just as happy as can be.
Richie, where do you get supplies? I mean, I'm trying to put wrap my mind around that. Are there towns close enough where you can go in and get food or get school supplies and stuff like that?
Yes, it's funny. Now, this was the first time we've ever seen this, but in certain areas of the Philippines, they have their own Sam's Club. Now, it's not Sam's Club; it's called S&R. But we went to one, and when you walked in, you would think that you were at Costco or you were at Sam's Club. They've got a few of those over in the Philippines. And they've also got their version of Walmart, but they call it Walter Mart, which is the funniest thing. When you walk in, you think but those are in the bigger cities.
Okay.
But we do. So it's actually pretty easy to find places if you've got transportation and you've got the money and the means to do it. There's places where you can buy. I mean, it's very Americanized over there. And when I say that, I mean, they've got McDonald's, they've got Burger Kings. They've got your Pizza Huts and Kentucky Fried Chicken. And it's very Americanized. And people ask me all the time, well, do you speak the language, which is Tagalog, is the language over there? But I've never had to learn any Tagalog because they speak such good English. They start them in kindergarten as English as their second language. But like I said, it's so Americanized. You walk into McDonald's, just like a regular McDonald's back here in the States, except for they have spaghetti and they have rice on the menu, stuff that we don't have here. Your Burger Kings, same thing. You may have chicken on the Burger King menu, and kind of a little different menu, but they do have a lot of Americanized restaurants and shopping centers. But the Walter Mart is one of my favorite places to go.
Walter Mart.
And I guess the Filipino version of the Sam's Club is now available, which is expensive. You don't see there's not a whole lot of them that will shop there.
Sure.
But a lot of our material and a lot of our supplies we can get there. It's actually easily accessible for us to get it.
Yeah. How much weight did you lose while you were there?
I didn't get on the scales before I left. I usually average about 20 to 25 pounds. Not because they don't feed us. They feed us good. They treat us like royalty over there. And trust me, my guys, I'm a vegetarian, so I just eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, but it's a lot of sweating, the humidity. We've been over there and the temperature get up to 120, 130 degrees in certain areas with 85% humidity. So when you step out of your room, it's just instant sweat, and you're out, and we're out all day. We hit the ground running first thing in the morning. Visit multiple churches throughout the day, plus the crusades, and then more churches in the evening, which is actually the best part. The wrestling shows are fun. We do enjoy that, but you guys know as well as I do, we can do that here in the States. And I've made that clear to the pastors over there. We want to make sure that it's just not the wrestling. We love the wrestling, but man, just getting to go with the pastors, speaking at all the churches, sharing our testimonies at all the churches, getting to enjoy the singing, the fellowship, the sports camps. My guys will get out there and play ball with the Filipinos, which is actually pretty funny. I need to get a video of my guys playing basketball with the Filipinos, because they go 125 miles an hour and we're barely moving. It's something to see when you see. There's not a whole lot of sports in the Philippines, but basketball, they do have the PBA, which is the Filipino Basketball association, and those young people can flat out play basketball. And, but getting to do that, getting to get out on the courts and play ball. We do tug of wars. Dan Holman, which has been with the Wrestling for Christ ministry team from day one, is a basketball coach. So he holds basketball camps over there when we're there. And it's just, the wrestling's fun, but just getting to go out into the villages, going out to where there's nothing. Like I said, the poorest of the poor, and knocking on that door and just wanting to tell them about Jesus and share the gospel with them. And they invite you in, or they'll come outside and sit on the porch with you, and man, they'll listen to it. And then if there's a lot of opportunity for us to do it that way, but we always have the local pastor with us who makes clear what we're saying, just in case they don't understand us. They use their native tongue. And guys, we've seen so many of those come to know the Lord just from going out into the jungle. And I'm talking about into the jungle and knocking on. Over here, you would never live. Here in America, you would never live in what they live in. And then for them to invite you into their house and spend their last penny on you just so you can have a bite to eat. And they do that. And they are so happy and so loving. Like I said, they don't know that they don't have anything. They've got everything they need, plus they've got Jesus. And that's the Lord called me there in 2008. Had opportunities over the years, and people have asked me, Brother Richie, would you want to go here? Would you want to go there? And I don't feel like the Lord wants me anywhere else. This is where He wants me. He wants me to be there. And like I said, not to wrestle, but to share the gospel. We wrestled to share it, but multiple times I've been there and we didn't even have a ring set up. We just went for a few weeks and held vacation Bible school, sports camps, youth camps, and church services. They go to church 5-6 days a week. And what I mean by that is they have Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night. But on Saturday, the youth go out, knock on doors. Friday, they visit the shut-ins. Thursdays, the senior ladies get together for meals. I mean, they have something going on in the church all the time. But that seems to me, that's where they're the happiest. And I've seen it. They're the happiest when they're in church, fellowshipping with like-minded people.
Wow. Richie, what I love about what you do is, I mean, you use wrestling and sports as a vehicle that kind of opens the door for you to get in and share and work. I mean, I think there's a lot of life lesson in that for all of us, though, because again, everybody can't do what you do and find that open door that way, but everybody can do something. And I think that there's a lot of times we use that as an excuse not to do it. I mean, I can't share because I'm a wrestler, or I can't share because I'm a bricklayer, or whatever it is. And I think one of the things I love is the fact that you don't take that attitude. You've turned beyond that and figured out a way in.
Well, I mean, there's not a whole lot of stuff that I don't do music. I don't sing. I don't play an instrument. I don't preach. I preach a fire. Now, every year I go over there, they call me brother, or they call me Pastor Richie, Preacher Richie. Every church I go to, the pastors say, listen, in the Philippines, you're a preacher, whether you've been called to or not. They want to hear a message from you. So I prepare, I study, I get a good message together. And this year's message I shared at all my churches, which is kind of neat because I go to a different church every day. So by the time I'm done in my month long there, boy, that message I started out with when I first got there, I'm an expert. I don't even have to look at my papers. I don't have to look at my study guide. But they love to hear a message. They love to hear the gospel, regardless if you're a preacher or not. They want to hear you talk about your love for the Lord because, being 13,000 miles apart on the other side of the world, the one thing that we all have in common is we all love the same Lord. We all love the same Jesus, and we're all going to the same place when we pass. So we're going to be together forever. And they love the fact that I can share that. Look at me with white skin, them dark skin, and say, hey, he's no different than me. God doesn't see my color. God sees your heart. He knows your heart. And so we're all the same. When I go to the Philippines, they don't treat me any different than they treat any other Filipino. To them, I'm a Filipino. And to me, they're Americans. We're all the same. We don't see color. We don't see, lifestyles. We don't see any of that. I've had people ask me all the time, Brother Richie, I want to go into the mission field. I want to go on the mission field. What do I need to do? And I usually start out by saying, have you been to your neighbor? Have you been across the road? Have you been to the local churches? Have you been out to the community? There's a mission field. It's not just the Philippines.
Yeah, that's incredible. Richie, was your family glad to see you when you got back?
They were. It's funny, Chris, I've got a grandson now, Noah. He's 8 months old, and I missed everybody, but I missed him more than anybody.
Yep.
I got to FaceTime with him. I mean, I missed Zoe and Jay and Tammy, but they know. They know. That's like Pawpaw missed Noah more than he did anybody, and I did. But I was happy to see them, and they were happy to see me. And a month away is it's a long time. I mean, you go on vacation for a week, sometimes 2 weeks. But those Filipino pastors, when they come to the States to raise support, they come here for 6 to 8 months at a time. They leave their family that long, and here I am thinking, man, a month's a long time to be away from my family. But they come here for 4, 6, 8 months at a time and do what I do over there.
Yeah. Wow. Well, Jeff, you have a grandson that's how old?
Well, he'll be 7 months old real soon.
Oh,
so
wow.
I spent a lot of time FaceTime in California. I mean, it's really another country from Florida. It is. And so, it's kind of, but we do that almost daily, which is great. The miracle of technology. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it would really be a hard trip if I didn't get to FaceTime my family. But being able to call and Noah get on the other end of the phone and just laugh at me and smile, and me just get to talk to him, man, it makes the trip a whole lot easier. I'm not as homesick when I get to see my family.
I love hearing from our listeners. I have a website called themasksaint.com, and I get people telling me things about the old wrestling days. I love to hear from them. I'm on Facebook, I'm on X, I'm on Instagram, and I just never get tired of listening to people. And if you have not read The Masked Saint, I have that available on my website. I have the Christmas book, Harold's Heavenly Christmas. I have the last book that I wrote with a wrestling buddy called Mr. President. Pictures whenever I was still in good shape. I have those available along with T-shirts, anything. But most of all, just love to hear from you.
Well, Richie, you're back stateside now, and so you kind of anytime you do trips like that, a mission trip, mission moment, I mean, there's always a little bit of a downtime when you get back because you're kind of, you're on the go the whole time you're gone, and you're kind of in that moment. You're back now. What's next for Wrestling for Christ? I mean, what happens now? Where are y'all headed, and what's going on in the next few days?
Well, while we were there, while the team was there, our Wrestling for Christ here in the States continued. We had several events that went on while we were there. We've got Jody Powell and Shane Austin and Kenny Austin and just the guys, just a great group of family is what we call each other, that continued to do the ministry while we were gone. And then when the team came back and I stayed, they continued to do the ministry. But we've got, like, next weekend's our huge 2-hour TV event called King of the Mountain. This is our second annual King of the Mountain, where all the belts are on the line. And but at every one of our events, the most important part is, I'm over booking the venues and booking the pastors. And of course, we've had Brother Chris in, and a couple of times Chris has shared for us. And then the weekend after that, we are got a big fair show coming up. We're using Ricky Morton and Kerry Morton, and it's nonstop. I should have brought my calendar. We're booked somewhere almost every weekend.
Wow.
Wrestling for Christ is.
Good deal.
That's incredible.
Well, what now, you were talking earlier about how we can find some of the stuff that happened in the Philippines on your Facebook page and stuff like that. How do people find you? How do people follow you? How do people stay in touch with what you're doing? So one, they can know, and then how they can pray for you.
Exactly. They can go on my personal page. I share all the same stuff on my personal page, but our Facebook page is Wrestling for Christ. It's on Facebook, and we post on there, several times a week. Maybe not daily, but we post on there several times a week. All of the stuff from the Philippines is on there. All the video footage, all the updates, all the churches that we visited. the Vacation Bible School, the feeding ministry, the back to school ministry. We shared all of that on our Facebook page. And then you can also get on Wrestling for Christ and see our upcoming events, where we're at. Like I said, we're not just in North Carolina, we're in South Carolina, Georgia, of course, Florida, Tennessee. So they can always follow us that way. And we do keep that page updated between me and Jody and a couple of other guys. We keep everything up to date there, where they can follow us. And back before COVID, I was speaking in a lot of churches, and I'm really wanting to get back to that this year. Had a lot of churches that, of course, had to cancel back during COVID, and then just not had an opportunity between the couple of injuries here on my foot and then my shoulders, both my shoulders. I'm wanting to try this year to get back into some local church, not just local. I'll travel and share our ministry, because there's a lot of places out there that don't even, when they think of wrestling, they don't think of wrestling and sharing the gospel. They don't. They think of wrestling, and God can take anything bad and make it good. And a lot of people look at there's really no, how do you do wrestling and share the gospel? Well, guys, it works. You know for a fact it works. Just the Philippines is proof that it can work anywhere if done right. You've got a lot of like-minded people. But yeah, I want to try to get into more churches this year and share our ministry. Not just using Facebook. I want to do a hands-on. Whether we do wrestling at the church or not, we want to get out there and share our ministry, share the Philippines with whoever and wherever. It doesn't matter where it's at.
Well, it's been a good time.
Yeah, I'm glad you got a chance to go. Now, are you going back next year? Is this annual?
We're going in June. June the 9th through the 23rd, the team will be going for the 2 weeks there. And guys, I tell people all the time, I'd like to take the whole plane full. So there's an open invitation to you and Jeff and you, Chris. I've got one pastor that's already, Pastor David Mellon from West Lincoln Baptist Church, has already come on board and said he's going with me in 26. I've got a local pastor that spoke at several of our events that says he's going with me. So I'd love to take a whole plane full. And it doesn't have to be wrestlers. It does not. Sure. We took a beautician last year, and she set a chair up in the Philippines, and some of those guys had never really had a real haircut. And she just set up a chair, and she stayed busy all day giving free haircuts. So it's, like I said, it's bigger than wrestling.
Well, I was making sure now. So the beautician, she wasn't there to take care of the wrestlers. She was there for the community, right? Are you making sure?
You've seen us. There's no help.
I know. I've seen you. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
There's nothing. She couldn't help us. There was nothing she could do to help us. She brought her barber equipment and brought her capes in a separate suitcase. And once we told the local pastors or the local community center that we were going to have a barber beautician there, they just lined up, all ages, kids, men, women, boys, girls. They all lined up and got free haircuts. If now that I've got a couple of local pastors coming, we are going to book a venue. Well, the venue's been booked in Dingalon, Aurora. They have a convention center that holds several thousand. And the mayor, we met with the mayor here a few weeks ago, and she said, Brother Richie, if you'll bring some preachers, we will hold Dingalon, Aurora is the name of the area, but there's probably 40, 50,000 people in that area. She said, we will open up our convention center and have a big not the wrestling, but a big crusade. We'll bring in our pastors and you bring in your pastors, and we'll just have a weekend of sharing the gospel with thousands. And that's the plan this year.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to go, you let me know and we'll get it worked out.
Okay. All right. Richie, we can't thank you enough for giving us your time, buddy. It's been great hearing about what God's doing with you over there in the Philippines, and I get to be with you every now and then, so I get to hear your heart, and I know where your heart is, and your heart is in the Philippines, and you just seem to live for that each year. It's like it just builds up to that time, and I know that you're going to do that probably until God calls you home.
As long as I can go, I may not be able to wrestle, but as long as I can go. And share the gospel, and they're my family, so it's like going home every year. I go home for a few weeks and visit family. But Jeff and Chris, I do want to thank you one more time for the church at 434. You guys having us back when you did, that support went a long ways. Trust me, that was probably our biggest support this year was the church at 434.
Wow.
That event, and that made sure that we got over there and we got to share the gospel. So you guys had a big part in the 3,200 professions of faith. We can't thank you guys enough. The churches that allow us to come in and support us, but you guys really, that went a long ways this year with getting us over there and getting the gospel out. Thank you for that.
Well, we love it. We'll have you back. We'll work those calendar dates out. We'll figure it all out. Yep. Before we wrap up, though, go ahead and give us a plug for the TV show, but also mention King of the Mountain again.
Yeah, guys, the TV show is Saturday Night Praise and Power Hour. It comes on every Saturday night at 6 o'clock on Abundant TV. If you've got a smartphone, Roku, you can download it on any of your smart devices. But our big event coming up next is August the 16th. It's a 2-hour event. I think it's going to be on air August the 30th. That's kind of like our big pay-per-view. All the belts are on the line, plus we'll be sharing the gospel.
Fantastic. Thank you. We want all our folks, all our audience to watch that and make sure you tune in and you have a better connection to Richie now. And then Richie, so he wasn't a rerun. He wasn't a rerun. There was new stuff, man. New stuff. So we're so glad you're here.
Yeah. It's been great. You know, I was kind of looking forward to him telling the Cherokee story again. You know, Cherokee, North Carolina. But no, that's for another time, Richie. We won't do that.
I want everybody to know that story. I still haven't been back to Cherokee.
Hey, God bless you, my brother. Thank you.
Love you guys. Thank you again.
Love you too, man.
All right. Bye.
Hey, it's me again, and I just wanted to take a moment and invite you to check something out. It doesn't cost you a dime, but I think that it's something you might really enjoy. The Church at 434, where I'm the pastor, where Chris Whaley is on staff, we have an app, and that app is absolutely free. You can find it by going to the App Store for iPhones. Just type in the Church at 434, or go to Google Play for Android phones. Again, the Church at 434. And when you get there, you're going to find a number of resources that are designed just for you to encourage you in your spiritual growth, in your walk with Christ. There's going to be some things that will entertain you, that you'll laugh at, that will be fun. And you can also tap in and watch our worship services. You can see some of the films that we've made. You can see some of the activities that we've got. And you can connect to the ministry of the Church of 434, where Chris and I are a part of that on a weekly basis. And we would love for you to join us and become a part of that network with us. And so check out the Church at 434 app in the App Store or in Google Play, and you can visit with us there. Also, you can email us right through that app, and we'd love to hear from you. Just say, hey, I got the app, and I like it. If you get the app and you don't like it, we don't want to hear from you. But that's a whole different thing. Let's get back to the Clash. We have had a great time, not just in this episode, but the previous episode, talking with Richie. And so let me encourage you, as our audience, to pray for Richie, pray for Wrestling for Christ, and make sure you watch the television show when it airs every week. Pray for what's happening in the Philippines. God's at work there, and Richie's been a part of that, and even you, as our audience, has been a part of that as well. And so your prayer support greatly needed. And make sure you check out August 30th special event, King of the Mountain. It'll air here on Abundant TV, and we want you to make sure that you see that and support that as well. What else, Chris?
Man, I'm just overwhelmed sometimes when I hear some of the stories that Richie tells. We're so blessed here in the USA. Jeff, how many pair of shoes you got in your closet?
A lot more shoes than I have feet.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I think of that, and then you got people over there don't even own a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Little girls wearing dresses made out of pillowcases. That just grips my heart. So, anything you can do to help Wrestling for Christ and their ministry that they do yearly over in the Philippines, I know it would be a great blessing to them. Hope you have a great week, and don't tap out.